Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
But my beat stay on hard.
Hello, good evening. It's a Monday Night Live special edition of the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan Fulford and A.D. Drew here on a Monday night. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So with that being said, I will say happy homecoming to my Rattler brother. For over 7 years, we have done this show. Of course, Drew and I both attended the College of Love and Charity on the highest of Seven Hills, and it is homecoming week. Drew, are you feeling that homecoming excitement? Do you feel it in your bones?
Love and charity. I mean, the love part was cool, but I didn't receive too much charity. I'm still paying back them student loans, my brother.
Love and clarity.
From
Clarity.
There you go. There you go. From SBI got a brother a long way, but SBI is still in my pocket.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel you. I feel you there, boy. Hey, so we couldn't get to do the to reveal the top 5 last night, so we kind of had already pre-agreed to do this thing tonight that we're doing. Got to first off give a shout out to Jamie Walker stepping in last night. Did a great job as always. He's a pro's pro, you know, and so always good to have Jamie on the show. And thanks to everybody who chimed in, active chats. Appreciate everybody, the thumbs up, the sharing, all of it. And so what we want to do in this episode, of course, primarily we're going to reveal the top 5 rankings, but there's a few little news nuggets which have dropped over the past 16, 18 hours since the last show we did. So we just thought we would do that. And hopefully those of you who have already checked in early, such as, of course, Coach Ferrasi, great job, great segment last night. Hopefully, if you're not following Coach, make sure you are at Coach Ferrasi.
What a monologue.
Oh, man, definitely, man. Very emotional, very emotional. My brother from the ONG, no, I'm sorry. That's other Rozier.
That's the brother.
Yeah, Kenneth Rozier. How you doing, Kenneth? Happy homecoming, Rattler. Good to have you there. Let me give you another shout out to another Rattler, Mary 305. Happy homecoming, sister. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you coming in. So, we're in that festive mood.
So, Brian, let me ask this.
Yeah.
Proper homecoming etiquette.
Oh, okay. Good.
We've gone through this, and I'm pretty sure there's some brothers and some sisters who've gone through this. Now, we all had fun at our various universities.
Mm-hmm.
There is that one male or female, depending on your gender, that you hung out with. We'll just say hung out with.
Okay.
But now it's 20, 30 years later.
Okay.
And you see them at homecoming. Now, scenario 1.
Okay.
They're there with their just their classmates, their friends.
Okay.
How do you approach scenario? Do you want me to give you the scenario 2?
Yeah, let's go through all the scenarios here because I may step in it here if I jump too soon here.
Scenario 2. They're there with their significant other.
Okay.
How do you approach?
Yeah.
And then let's throw the caveat. We're not even gonna get in there. Let's just get those 2 things out the way.
Okay, so let me start with scenario 2, right? And obviously you're gonna peep the scene real quick, and probably you already know. Let's keep it real. We have access to stalk any and everybody we want to via social media. And if
you're telling too many secrets right now, Brian.
I'm keeping it real. We're keeping it 100, aren't we? Isn't that what we're doing? Nobody's listening right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it real. You've already figured out. Now there are a few people I know in my line that I don't know what the marriage situation is. Like I see the kids, but every time I look at a photo, I don't see the significant other. And then I go and check to see how are they identified, and there's nothing there. It doesn't say married. See, I'm one of them people that say if you're married, you're putting that out there. You're not hiding the fact that you're not married. If you're in a strong relationship, you're probably putting that out there too, that I'm in a relationship, right?
What about divorced?
Okay, well, hey, now divorce day, that's 100. That's like being single. I mean, you go ahead and put that out there and let everybody know I'm available if you want to holler, but understand I got some baggage, right?
Brian, it's been 20, 30 years. Everybody has baggage by that point in time.
Yeah, well,
It's just how big is your suitcase? That's the only question.
Some of us don't have big suitcases, Drew. Some of us don't have big suitcases like some of y'all. My suitcase is a carry-on. So I mean, I'm good.
And some people got duffel bags.
And some people got duffel bags, right? So I'm just so scenario 2, I'm approaching, but I already know. So I'm like, hey, so and so, hey, how you doing? Now I kind of that's where you may get the side hug. You know what they say, the old the church teacher side hug that you might give a student, because you don't want to be seen like you're giving a full embrace to a student. So you give a student, hey, a little side hug, hey, and then you quickly go to the significant other. Hey, how you doing? I'm Brian. Welcome to homecoming. Or and if they're a Rattler, then you like, hey, happy homecoming, Rattler. You know what I'm saying? So you feeling that now. If it's scenario 1, then you got to go in and get the biggest hug that you can get and let them know, hey, this is the kind of hugs you're missing out on, baby. You're missing out on these kind of hugs on a daily. Just want you to know this is what you passed up on. And then you just kind of roll with it there. But
and then you got the 2 questions that you got to ask. What part is you going to after? What y'all doing after we get out the game?
See, I don't even do. I'm so square with the media stuff, Drew, that I'm too gassed to even think about trying to go party afterwards. Like, bruh, Saturday is a work day.
Yeah. And then you got question number 2. Oh, what hotel y'all in?
See, I'm not even doing that either. I'm not even doing that. I'm literally I'm telling you, my fun will come before the game. But by 4:00, like I've already done the pre, I already know everything I need to know. By 4:30, let me scale it back. By 4:00, I gotta scale it back. Whatever I've been doing, I gotta scale it back. Actually, I may need to do it a little sooner, but because I gotta work Saturday. So I gotta scale it back. So that way,
question is, what are you scaling back? Or are you throwing them back? So you got a cup in your hand already. Talk about scaling back.
Look, from 10 to 2, it's on. From 10 to 2, it's on. I'm, the beverages are flowing. That's right. I said 10 a.m. That's right. You're right. You're damn right. I said 10 a.m. on Saturday.
You late a lot for some people.
I'm probably late, very late, very late. But I'd have been driving. See, I'm going up in the morning, so I'm smart. I'm not staying overnight. I'm not going to party overnight. I got work to do. So
that's about $400 in your pocket right there.
I'm saving, exactly. So like I said, it's one of those things. Yes, everyone say all my hugs are full unless they're sipping. Yeah, exactly. So if they give you that side hug, then you kind of know. And we just gonna have a quick conversation. We gonna keep it moving, right? We gonna do that. Yeah, dealing with events. I saw Mary Theophile talking about can we get Boosie for home? Really? That's what you want? You want Boosie for homecoming?
Somebody got you at 10 a.m., Brian.
6:30 Saturday. Lord have mercy.
Can I make a homecoming confession?
Is that with coffee? Let me ask that. Is that 6:30 with a cup of coffee?
That's the chase.
Oh my God.
Hey, Brian, can I make a homecoming confession?
Yeah.
I've never been to a FAMU homecoming parade.
Me neither. I'm right there with you. And a part of me feels a little bit, notice I'm doing this, a little bit of shame, but not really.
Yeah. Let's be real. The homecoming parade is not for the students. No. The homecoming parade is for the kids and the alumni.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out, are the alumni really? But look, I don't know, because I don't know what the route is like.
Not the young alumni, the seasoned alumni. Now we're a little spicy now. We're not quite seasoned, but we're a little spicy.
Okay, that's going to be a poll that we're going to do Wednesday night. I got to ask my Rattler alums, are you going to the parade or have you gone to the parade?
I've been to other people's homecoming parade, but I've never been to a FAMU homecoming parade. Because either I was too inebriated, or I was too asleep, or when I was there, I was working on homecoming.
Right. Israel, when is Jackson State's parade on homecoming? Is it 8 o'clock in the morning? I'm just curious if if you've been. Shout out to Joshua. I see him there. Happy homecoming, Josh. Happy homecoming to all the Rattlers who have stepped in, the usuals who have come in. Appreciate all you guys. I know I saw Tamara T in there. Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. M. Mac Webb, happy homecoming, Rattler. Anybody, any and all. I'm just curious, who's Montre Bennett, happy homecoming. I know he says he's gone. I almost went last year, Drew, because I was coming into town right about that time, but I passed. I don't know. I don't know. 8 o'clock. I feel like a homecoming, honestly, I feel like the homecoming parade should really be Friday late afternoon. Obviously you're going to have the set stuff. Now, I know that's impossible logistically unless you do it on campus, but I don't know. I don't know. All right.
Hey, hold on. I want to say, hey, Josh, how many more last second calls do you have in you, my brother? I'm just curious. You did it again with the last second call with Ever Waters. How many more of those things do you got in you, man? Just let a brother know, because y'all be giving Ever Waters fans heart attacks down there.
Edward Waters fans, look, I'm listening. I'm listening, sitting right next to Josh, and I know he lives and breathes with every one of those plays, and so I know. Yes, I know. I can see the beads of sweat coming off the brow as that game was happening. I know it. So trust me. Winners are 5 in a row, man. Outside, let me see. Outside of,
I wonder if they're gonna be.
Hold on, is that the longest streak going right now? Who else has got a 5-game win streak going on right now?
Outside of Benedict.
Well, okay, yes. Benedict's got Benedict, obviously. Outside of Benedict, 5 in a row. Is North Carolina Central on a 5-game win streak, or I'm trying to think back to.
Did Central and FAM lose the same week?
Did they lose the same?
They would be on a 4, I believe. Central and FAM would be on a 4.
Here, I'm gonna pull it up right here. So FAM is on a. Let's see. FAMU is on a 1, 2, 3, 4. FAMU's on a 5-game winning streak.
Okay. And Central's on a 4 then.
You think it's 4?
Yeah, I think Central lost a week after FAM.
Yes, you're right. They're on a 1, 2, 3, 4-game winning streak. Yes, they are. Appreciate you, Coach Merv. Thank you. Let's see. Great question here by Merv. Has any HBCU football team had back-to-back undefeated regular seasons? Okay, schools that come to mind, but I don't know. I think we got to look into this, Drew. Central State
Back during the Billy Joe era.
How about Winston-Salem State, the Connell Maynard teams?
They were, because I know one year they did lose it to the semifinals. That would be candidates. Some of those Tuskegee teams. I think I was back to back though. No, I can't say back to back. Maybe so. And then you go, and then you want to go back into the FAMU days. We go back to the 40s and 50s.
No. Let's not go back that far. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go modern era, which I'm going to define modern era.
1970. 1970.
No, that's not modern era.
Well, I would say that because that's when the last conference was born. That's why I picked that year with the BAC.
Oh God, let's say, are we at the 30-year mark? Let's say 1990. That's 30 years. 30 years, so 33 years, something like that. So let's say the last 3 decades would probably be modern era. I think, yeah, I no Edwin says 70.
Edwin's with me. That's why I say with the advent of the BAC.
No, how about see modern era to me? Let's go with the advent of cable television. That to me would signify modern era. There wasn't cable television in the 70s, so I would
see Coach Ferrazzi. That would be depending on where Bryan defines it. Hey, here's a good starting point: post Eddie Robinson or pre Eddie Robinson.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with that because Eddie Robinson retired in
in the 90s.
In the 90s. So I would say post Eddie Robinson's retirement, which was mid 90s, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not trying to act young. I'm still in my 40s though, Edwin. Though, how about that though? I'm probably the only one on this screen that can say that for a little while longer.
Bryan, if I could throw something through the screen at you, I would.
I know you would. I'm sorry.
But my computer costs too much to do that.
Edwin did it though. I'm blaming Edwin for that. Blame Edwin for that. He's the one who did that.
Let's get to some news, man.
All right, let's get to some news. But I love the research question though. I'm gonna store that away while I'm watching Monday Night Football tonight. I'm gonna have to do some research. If you tune in, Coach Marv, if you tune in tomorrow to Dr. Graville's show, I will present the homework to Dr. Graville. Now, if he uses it, I don't know, but I will present it to him. College ruled 12-point paragraph indent, proper name and spacing at the top of the page. I will present that to him for class tomorrow and see if he takes it as extra credit, and maybe Doc will present it tomorrow.
I know who would know the answer to that quickly though, Bryan.
Okay, who?
Kendrick.
Ooh.
D2 HBCU football guy.
Okay. All right, we got to reach out.
Because he's a black college historian when it comes to football.
All right. That's tonight. So that's a quick call. Or a text. Okay. Modern era black college football was not good. Oh my God. Here we go, Clarence. All right. Anyway, let's get to some news. I'm not even gonna address that. But anyway, what do we got in the news, Drew? Let's start over in the SIAC before we get into football talk. The SIAC making some news on the basketball front. As hold on, I just lost the story. Doggone it. I had it pulled up. Okay, the SIC basketball tournament is going to be held once again at Savannah State University at Inmark
championship
Arena.
game.
Yes, is it just the championships? No, it's the
championship game is at Inmark Arena. And the rest of the tournament will be at Savannah State.
Okay, I got it here. The SIC men's and women's basketball tournament is headed back to the hostess city. I didn't know it was called the hostess city for the 23-24 season, according to a statement from SIC Commissioner Anthony Holloman at the SIC Basketball Media Day at Inmarket Arena. Make sure I say that right. The opening round through the semifinal rounds of the tournament will be played at Tiger Arena on the campus of Savannah State University. The championship round on the men's and women's side will be at Inmarket Arena. This is only a 1-year deal. So how far away is Inmarket Arena from Tiger Arena, Drew? Any idea?
Yeah.
And I also did not know there was a second arena at Savannah State. So that's news to me.
No, Inmarket Arena is the city-owned facility.
Okay. All right.
I'm going if maybe 10 to 15 minutes, because that is, if I remember that correct, that is right there on the river.
Okay. The article
Yeah, right there on the Savannah River, which separates South Carolina and Georgia. I believe that arena is right down in that area, about a boardwalk.
Yeah, Edwards says about 5 miles. According to the article here from WSAV.com, the reason the entire tournament will not be held at In-Market is due to the arena being used at the same time for Ghost Pirates games, according to a source close to the situation. I don't know who the Ghost Pirates are. Is that the hockey team, or who are Ghost Pirates? I don't know. That's an awesome name though, Ghost Pirates though. Last year Savannah State hosted the entire conference tournament at Tiger Arena. A little discussion here that it is not next to the river. So
I must be thinking of a different facility that's down there by the river then.
yes. And Edward says it's the hockey team. So okay. Appreciate that, Edward. The media, so the SIC announced that. So just about 4 or 5 days ago, they released the preseason accolades and rankings for the women and the men. The Eastern Division, I won't get into too deep into the weeds, but just say Clark Atlanta was predicted first in the East Division for the women. Miles College predicted to finish number 1 in the West. 14 teams make up the entire field, so 7 in the East, 7 in the West. Are there any new teams in the SIC that are? Let's see. I still see Spring Hill. I still see
not this year.
Okay, so yeah, Spring Hill and Lemoyne Owen, 2 schools that don't play football, are here a part of the SIC. So that's the women's preseason. Over in the men's side, the predicted order of finish on the Eastern Division, you had Benedict College predicted to finish first, followed by Morehouse. Then in the Western Division, you had Miles predicted to finish first, followed by Tuskegee. Now, over on the men's, there are 15 schools, obviously because of Morehouse. There are 15 schools, 8 schools playing in the Eastern Division, 7 playing in the West. So that's sort of how the SIC shook out. All right. Drew, you want to make mention of a quick transition non-football story? I saw the cross-country championships were held by the SWAC, and I think, who else had theirs today? The SIC, I think, had theirs today.
Yes.
Shout out to Coach G, Garfield Ellenwood, and the Lady Rattlers for winning the 2023 Women's Cross Country Championship. Interesting the way that the points are done. And the men's were won by
Morehouse.
No. Huh?
Which conference was we on?
We're in the
Oh,
SWAC.
I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong conference.
Yeah, I know. In the SWAC, I think it was hold on, let me see. I had it. Was it Prairie View? No, not Prairie View. It was oh, doggone it. I had it all prepared and then I flubbed it. Anyway, I know the way the scoring is, the women run a 5,000 meter, the men run an 8,000 meter.
Right.
And the way it works, and I'm trying to find the men's results here, so bear with for a second because I'd feel bad if I didn't do this properly. Okay, Texas Southern, that's right. Okay, Texas Southern men won the team competition for the cross country championship, although Alcorn had a runner by the name of Kelvin Kip Kim Boy. I hope I said that right. congratulations, Kelvin of Alcorn. He won the men's race. Over on the women's side, as mentioned, FAMU won, but Alcorn had a young lady, Stella K. I'm not even going to try to mess the name up. Stella K of Alcorn. So Alcorn had the 2 top individual runners, but the way they do the points, Drew, it's based on your top 5 runners, right? And so FAMU edged out Alabama State by 9 points. Alabama State had the 2nd and 3rd best times, along with the 8th best time. But FAMU had 5 runners in the top 24. And that 5th runner who finished 24th outbested Alabama State's 5th runner who finished 42nd. In fact, the 6th and 7th runner for FAMU finished better than the 5th runner of Alabama State. So from a points perspective, real interesting to win that team title. And I think it was probably a little unexpected, maybe for everybody, but Coach G, as he's known, Coach Ellen Wood, who we've had the pleasure of talking to on the ONG Strike Zone. Who knows? We might even have Coach G on Wednesday night. But congratulations to them. And then I just saw in the SIAC, the Maroon Tigers celebrated their 26th victory in winning the SIAC Men's Cross Country Championship. So that was taking place in Macon, Georgia. So congratulations to them. And did the women run at the same time?
I'm assuming they did, but they didn't release any results.
Yeah, I don't see the headline for the women. So okay. Quick little nugget here. Football players of the week have come out for the MEAC. Howard quarterback Quentin Williams was the offensive player of the week. Howard defensive back Kenny Gallup Jr. earned the defensive player of the week honors. South Carolina State's Jawarn Howell was the rookie of the week. South Carolina State's Eric Brown Jr. and Norfolk State's Grandon Wilcox were the offensive lineman and specialist of the week. And I think if you listen to the show, you heard us talk about Williams' performance, for Howard in the comeback against Norfolk State. We mentioned Howell of South Carolina State, of course, had the 3 touchdowns on 13 carries for 119 yards. And Gallup Jr., though, had a season-high 11 tackles, 1 for loss, and I think he had a game-clinching interception, which I've seen the highlights of. That was pretty impressive. So congratulations to those individuals. Over in the SWAC, the SWAC released their conference players of the week. Aaron Allen of Alcorn, Malachi Bailey was the defensive player of the week, and the newcomer of the week, Jacobian Morgan, the quarterback, who I saw a real touching video on Ken Clark's YouTube feed. Of course, Ken Clark does an outstanding job covering Jackson State. Of Jacobian's father, I guess, came back from active duty, and he, obviously they did the whole,
surprise,
did the surprise thing, and so it was kind of touching, kind of nice to kind of see as he was coming off the field after pregame warmups to kind of see, his dad there, and so nice. Yes. Hey, okay. Thank you, Josh. Benedict won the SIC women's cross country title. Okay. That wasn't up on the site. All right. Any other news nuggets that are out there? That's the major division. I didn't see whether the CIAA released their conference winners of the week. Yes, they did. Okay. CIAA players of the week. Offensive lineman of the week was Justin Meade of Virginia Union. The quarterback of the week, Jordan Morse of Bowie State. He's just a freshman. Interesting. The receiver of the week, Ian Edwards of Elizabeth City State. Offensive back of the week, Sidney Gibbs of Shaw. Defensive back of the week, Jaden Carter of Bowie State. Linebacker of the week, Carl Poole of Virginia State. Defensive lineman of the week, Shai Gaskin of Fayetteville State. Special teams player of the week, Josiah Boyd of Fayetteville State. And the rookie of the week, Dalen Lee of Winston-Salem State. Drew, do you like the multi-player accolade thing from the CIAA, the way they do it, or do you kind of like the more, which also the MEAC kind of does that as well, or do you like the more hardcore offensive, defensive, special teams that the SWAC does? What's your preference?
I like it for the simple fact that
you like
what? I like the offensive linemen, linebackers, et cetera, for the fact that it gives more young men an opportunity to be recognized. But it is cumbersome to if you're on the flip side of that and have to put the stuff in and put the nominations in. It's cumbersome to try to get that stuff together. Does my player deserve to be nominated? Do it not be nominated? Do I just throw a name in because I want to be consistent and throw a name in every week, or does my player truly deserve to be nominated? Because Bryan, somewhere there's some sports information department that has nominated somebody for all those awards. Articles, one long article, because they've had multiple winners of all those awards. So it's a good bad thing. It's great for the kids. Makes the adults have to work a little bit harder. Somebody's got to tabulate all that stuff. But hey, the more publicity that you can get, the better. And if Food Lion, who I believe sponsors the CIAA award, say we're gonna give out 8 awards with our name on it, we're gonna give out 8 awards.
Yeah, hey. Props to having sponsors, right?
Yes.
It means you can do a lot of things.
Exactly.
One last nugget here before we release and show the top 5. I posted a poll on our YouTube page. If you know how those polls pop up in the community section, or they just kind of randomly show up in your YouTube feed. I asked the question, who had the best win of week 8 in HBCU football? The candidates were Elizabeth City State, of course, defeating number 2 Virginia State 17-16. Virginia Lynchburg defeating Lane 45-42 for homecoming. Edward Waters rallying to defeat Albany State 31-27. Benedict scoring a record 63 points on homecoming, or Howard rallying to defeat Norfolk State for homecoming 27-23. Drew, I don't know if you voted, but if you voted, who would get your vote for the best win of week 8?
Oh, it definitely has to be Elizabeth City. I mean, you got coming in 1-5 against an
unbeaten.
What was they 6-0, 7-0?
Yeah.
Team. Yeah. That would be the best win of the week. Now, some of those honorable mentions that you've got in there, drama, comebacks, great games.
Yeah.
But the win of the week has to be Elizabeth City.
Yeah, I that was my vote, and currently it's a close race right now. 28% of the votes are saying Elizabeth City State right now, but Edward Waters is right there with 27% for their comeback against Albany State, and right behind them with 22% of the vote is Howard. So,
Bryan, Miles come back against Allen, couldn't make the poll.
I think. Well, how far didn't? Okay, so I'll be honest.
but I was trailing 14-0, and
But that was a top 5 matchup, though. I think
that's not the game.
Well, look, you
That's
had
not upset.
Yeah, it's not really an upset. You got 2 top 5 teams.
Okay, that's enough right there. You said 2 top 5 teams, so it can't be an upset. So gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the top 5. Here's the BCSN.
Let's take a break first.
Oh my goodness, you want to take a break? Here we are. I thought we were
just a
trying to
short
get out of here. Short one.
Just a short break.
Lord, Drew, you're killing me. All right, short break. Come right back and release the BCSN top 5 right here on the Black College Sports Network, BCSN SportsWrap. We'll be back in 2.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan, A.D., Coach Marv. Okay, let's see, Benedict playing to make history these next 2 weeks. I would think so. Because again, you're talking 11-0 regular season last year, including the conference. Do we count? First off, do we count? Okay,
conference championship game is counted in
regular season. Okay, so that's 11-0. They're sitting currently at 8-0, so that's 19. If I'm doing the math, and who knows? Did they finish the previous year?
They won the last 3 or 4 the year before that. So, I know they're at least on a 20-game win streak.
Okay, so we're talking a 20-game win streak, which I think is impressive, not counting playoffs. Yes, most definitely they're on a run to making history right now. And I think what'll be even nice or nicer is, can they get the rankings love that they got last year and go in again this year as a 1 seed in the region playoffs for the second consecutive year?
21 in a row. They won the final 2 games in 2021, Bryan.
Okay. 21 games in a row.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I think the history part would be for if they get another number 1 ranking
Yes.
versus although the 11-0 2 consecutive years would be impressive, would impress me more is being ranked number 1 in the region for the second year in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. So that's what Benedict is chasing, and I think what's always interesting is what we'll have fun doing here over the next couple weeks is statistically comparing last year to this year.
Right.
But I think there are certain elements that are the same, and I think we pointed that out. And really the only major change, well, the biggest change from last year to this year is the quarterback situation. They had 2 capable quarterbacks last year, and this year, their quarterback this year has, Coach Berry told us that they had a capable guy, so I don't want to say he came out of nowhere. But for us, for most fans and media, he came out of nowhere. But
You had a senior, you had a grad transfer last year. You weren't expecting what we saw this year. That was the biggest that was the biggest reason I didn't rank them as high in my preseason poll, was because of the questions at quarterback. While we knew their defense would be dominant, the question was was the defense going to be consistently put in bad spots all season, and that has not happened. And Brian, should Benedict pull this thing off this year, this may be the greatest run that we've seen in HBCU football since Central State in the 80s.
Well, you're totally skipping over the Winston-Salem State years with Connell Maynard in the early that was 20
in the like
20,
20, yeah, the early teens.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, because what he did with those teams.
Yeah.
And
prior to that, there were some good Tuskegee teams.
Yes.
That actually flowed through 2 coaches, from Coach Comagee into Coach Slater.
Now, playoff success also will have to factor into this. I know,
which is what Connell Maynard and Billy Joel's teams have over those Tuskegee teams, because those Tuskegee teams were not playoff eligible. Although 2015 to 2016, although Tuskegee did not have the regular season that Benedict has had, they had the playoff success to back it up for that 3-year run, 14, 15, and 16 for Tuskegee.
Yeah. And that's what I think we're going to wait to see with Benedict, is what happens with their playoff seeding. Should they get the week bye? The big question that people will have will be the adjustments. What are you going to do to stay fresh?
What are you going to do to stay motivated?
Do you think? Well, hold on. Do you think really motivation was an issue?
There's always that chance that you can get complacent.
Yeah, I guess. I would think experience, never having been in that situation before, was new to a lot of players. I know that as coaches, and I bet the coaching staff probably relied on a lot of referrals from a lot of people. Hey, how do you handle this? How do you do this? And I think going through the experience is probably the educator.
Hey, Brian, while we're talking about Benedict, we can go ahead and talk about this quickly. We're ready to talk about rankings. The Super Region 2 rankings have come out. They came out today. Now, everybody keep in mind, the rankings for the first week come out in alphabetical order. They are not ranked 1 through whatever. So I'll quickly go down those, Brian. Benedict sits at 8-0. Delta State, well, I'm gonna give you the overall record and the in-division record. Benedict 8-0, 8-0. Delta State 6-1, 5-1. Fayetteville State 6-2, 6-2. Fort Valley State 6-2, 6-2. Lenore-Rhine 8-0, 8-0. Mars Hill 6-1, 6-1. Miles 5-1, 5-1. Valdosta State 5-1, 5-1. West Florida 6-1, 5-1, and West Georgia 5-2, 5-1. So let's count them up. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4 HBCUs in the initial top 10.
3 from the SIAC.
3 are from the SIAC. 1 from the CIAA. And what's going to be interesting. Say it again.
Who was the CIAA representative?
Fayetteville State.
So, okay, let me ask the obvious question. Is Virginia State, Virginia Union in a different region?
No. They're in that region. That just means right now, as of today, they are outside the top 10. Had Virginia State won, I guarantee Virginia State is in there.
So to sort of debunk what you just said, Clarence, about the SIC not being highly ranked nationally, I think 3 SIC schools ranked regionally in the top 10 versus 1 CIAA, and that 1 CIAA is not from the state of Virginia. That says something about the SIC this season. And so you could say who's not highly ranked nationally and all that other stuff, but obviously, how many conferences you got? What, 4 or 5 conferences that make up the region?
4 make up a region.
So 4 conferences make up their region, right? And the CIAA has 1 team.
The SIAC has 30% of that region.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, and at this point, this is what we're talking about, regions. You can't look at this thing from a national perspective. I think that's the one good thing. What I like about the Division II playoffs is it is focused regionally, because you got to understand these programs don't have Division I budgets. So it does kind of make more sense that everything be based on from a regional scope. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes sense. And so I like the way to do that. Okay.
And if you
sorry.
Just quickly, if you take a look at what's going on, if you go to inkblotsports.com, who does a very good job with their analytics and is usually spot on with the NCAA rankings, they have Benedict and Lenore Rhine tied with their analytics. And if you look at the Super 2 region rankings, both of those teams are 8-0. So that's who Benedict's competition is for that number 1 spot as of today.
And not West Florida. Interesting. West Florida, who I believe was at one point when they played Florida A&M, they were ranked like 6th. Interesting. Okay, rankings time, because we're here for a good time, not a long time, and this is how we're going to close out the show. So these are the BCSN top 5 rankings for games played through October 21st.
Can I answer a question before we get into that?
Sure.
That last team that made it deep into the playoffs was Tuskegee, I believe, in 2014 or 2015, when they made it to the 8 out of the SIAC. That's the deepest that somebody has made it recently.
All right.
Out of the SIAC.
All right. All right. Let's get into this.
All
right. These are the BCSN top 5 rankings. Computer rankings, these are not a poll, but this is a ranking of the top 5 teams from 2 different divisions. We have a Division I level made up all of FCS programs, and then we have a non-Division I made up of NAIA and Division II HBCU programs. The rankings take into consideration all of the metrics that go into a team's season. They look at the strength of schedule. It looks at your performance. It looks at rankings from other places as well. And so this is a pretty good formula. So it usually shakes itself out. So don't be shocked. This is about the, let's see, is this week number 5 for us on our rankings or 4?
Yes.
This is the 5th one. Okay. So, and another thing about these, for those of you who may not be familiar, our rankings usually start after the 4th week of the season. So we don't do any preseason stuff. We kind of let the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season play out for everybody, because I think that's when you can kind of start to really assess teams. All right. Let's start with the non-Division I side. When we talk about in the hunt, teams in the hunt, we mean teams that are just outside of the top 5. These schools would be ranked 6 through 10 in your, or 6 through 9 in this case, in your traditional top 10. You got Fort Valley State there, sitting at what would be 6th. Tuskegee coming in right behind them. Bowie State, interesting to see Bowie State in the hunt, sitting at even 4-4, 3-3, and then Edward Waters coming in right behind them. So kind of interesting to see that team. I think Bowie State for me is the biggest kind of surprise there, Drew, of the in the hunt teams. And what does it say that Fort Valley, Tuskegee, and Edward Waters, all teams that I know when I filled out my rankings, I definitely had them, if not in the top 5, very close.
Here's the thing, Brian. If Fort Valley, Edward Waters, and Tuskegee are outside the top 5, who's in it?
Great point. Great point. Let's find out who's in it. Coming in at number 5, Miles College. Miles, of course, got a win this past week over Allen. And if I'm not mistaken, this week, I wrote this down.
Albany State. They travel to Albany State.
Miles travels to Albany State. That'll be a
elimination game
for somebody. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Number 4, Virginia Union, pretty much in the same spot they've been in the last couple weeks, if I recall, even looking back at the numbers. 6-1, 4-1 overall. Of course, the big showdown.
That should be 5-1.
2 weeks. You're probably right. It should be.
Yes.
And I think their record is 7-1 actually, so it probably should be 7-1 and 5-1. Okay, number 3. This will catch a lot of people by surprise. Florida Memorial, NAIA Sun Conference team, 4-3 overall, but 3-1 in conference. The Sun Conference, one of the top NAIA football conferences. And Florida Memorial, I was just looking at the standings. They're sitting right behind 2 nationally ranked teams. One of them is unbeaten, and they are tied for 2nd with the other nationally ranked team. And they got a win last week over Weber International.
On their homecoming.
On their homecoming. This upcoming week, they've got Southeastern, who's a conference opponent. And then the following week, I think they play one of those 2 teams in front of them.
No, they go to Thomas.
Oh, that's right. They got Thomas.
Week.
Yep.
And
then the following week is when they play.
They play Kaiser for the
Kaiser's the team. Yes, that's the team who's ranked ahead of them. So who knows? Florida Memorial, keep an ear to the ground and what they're doing. Remember, this is the program that rejuvenated their football program all of
in the midst of COVID.
Yeah, in the midst of COVID. So yes, that's never forget that. Number 2, of course, still is Virginia State, 7-1 overall, 5-1. They only really lost some points. And again, the Elizabeth City State beat them, but Virginia State missed an extra point that could have sent the game to overtime. So, pump the brakes if you're thinking, oh, how far am I going to drop Virginia State? Now, should it have been that close? That might be your bigger question, because it probably shouldn't have been as close as it was. But hey, even the best sometimes struggle Or hey, what did they say, Drew? The other team's trying to win too.
Exactly.
Exactly. And number one, of course, 8-0 in overall, 6-0 in conference, Benedict College, number one. And so there's your summary of the top five: Benedict, Virginia State, Florida Memorial, Virginia Union, and Miles. Thoughts, Drew? Anything that catches you? And I gotta say, I am shocked, but only a little, that Fayetteville State is nowhere around, not even in the hunt.
You know, I think what's hurting Fayetteville State, those non-conference wins, those non-conference losses that they have were not even competitive with those non-conference losses. So I think that's what's hurting Fayetteville State in the Black College Sports Network rankings. Let's stay on this. Of course, we know that this ranking is SIAC heavy because of the 9 teams that we have in this ranking, 6 of them hail from the SIAC. So let's talk a couple of different scenarios.
Okay.
Miles wins out. Fort Valley win out. They're going to have to let everybody know what the tiebreaker is because those two do not play head-to-head. And their one loss will be to the number 1 team, Benedict.
Okay, so do we know? Have they published
No.
those
No,
tiebreakers yet?
I have not got. I've sent some notification to the SIAC office trying to get a hold of the tiebreaker scenarios just for clarity. All right, now Tuskegee, and the same thing goes for Tuskegee at Fort Valley, because although Tuskegee played Fort Valley earlier this year, that was a non-conference conference game.
Right.
So they would have to go to the tiebreakers again. Although, if they go by quality win or quality loss, Tuskegee lost to Edward Waters, and Fort Valley State lost to Benedict. So if that's the tiebreaker, Fort Valley State would get in if it gets out to that particular tiebreaker.
Right, and Fort Valley State would have beaten Edward Waters while Tuskegee did not.
Correct.
So
common opponent.
If you want to look at common opponent, there you go.
Right. So now let's get into some psychiatric stuff. Fort Valley has one game left in conference.
Correct.
That's against Albany State.
Correct.
That's a rival game.
Right.
So let's say Albany State wins that rival game. Now Fort Valley has 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Albany State defeats Miles this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miles defeats Tuskegee the following week.
So what you would have. I'm just going to give you the records and I'll let you continue.
I'll tell you what the record would be.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Okay.
You would have Fort Valley, Miles, Albany State, Tuskegee, and if the winner of the Edward Waters,
Allen.
If Edward Waters has to defeat Allen,
mm-hmm.
you would have 5 teams potentially tied with 2 losses.
Yeah, because
and then let's really have some fun, Brian.
Holy cow! That is your doomsday scenario right there. That scenario, boom! Talk about blow your head off. Good God!
That's your doomsday scenario.
You're breaking up on me, Drew.
That's Benedict.
Hold on. Fix your audio for a second. Fix your audio. It's a lot of cracking and popping. Snap, crackle, pop. Let's see if we got your audio fixed there. Any luck? Still can't hear you. Okay. That's a doomsday scenario, folks. I have no idea. And I think at this point the conference has got to publish tie-breaking scenarios before Saturday's games. I think it has to be done. I'd say by Thursday, the SIC should come out and release what the tie-breaking scenarios are. Are you back, Drew?
Yeah. Mic check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
Okay. All right. But yeah, it could get real interesting for somebody in the SIC office who has to do the math.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, again, I was just saying. I don't know if you heard me, but I was pleading for, and I know you know people, but I would plead for the SIC. Please come out with the scenario. Look, you've already got a good thing going. You got people buzzing. Keep that excitement going. Release the tie-breaking scenarios, which hopefully have already been agreed upon. I would hope that, Jesus, you're not thinking of what the scenarios are at this point, but hopefully they've already been decided upon and you just need to release them. But I would implore them to release them by Thursday. Even I don't do it on a Friday, but give it Thursday so that way media outlets and people can be buzzing about it all Friday, and it just adds to the excitement that people are going to be talking about heading into Saturday. Because Drew, you just pointed out scenarios that are possible. Not saying they're likely or not, but they are possible. And man, if those things happen,
there's so many combinations right now, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go through those combinations like I did. But what I need to know is, okay, obviously head to head is win percentage. You know, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a two-way? What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a multiple team scenario?
And I'll give you one more item to think about, Drew. How about whoever comes out of that cluster? Shouldn't the third and fourth place teams have to play each other? Because that could have an impact on the playoffs and the region rankings. I think
that's
that
something that's important because
your audio, you're losing your mic here. You might have to just go without the headphones and just go computer mic. It could also be your mic telling us, hey guys, it's time to wrap this S up. All right. Are you there?
Can you hear me, Brian?
Ah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you sound good.
I sound good?
Yes, you do. You sound good.
All right. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And some teams may have to play. We wind up playing each other trying to improve their playoff position. Or you may see some teams from the CIAA come and play some of these SIEC teams, a la whoever loses the Virginia State, Virginia Union game to try to get into the playoff.
Yeah, let me clarify here, Clarence. It's not that the conference doesn't have tie-breaking rules. It's just that they're not published.
So what they are.
Yeah, I mean, these are tie-breaking rules that have probably been worked on during the summer coaches meetings, the ADs, and maybe the presidents have to get involved, but at least the athletic directors and football coaches get involved. It's just that it's not publicized on the website. And, I don't know, you that's not uncommon, to be honest with you. I mean, it really isn't.
They don't let the information out until they have.
Yeah, until they have.
And one last thing, Brian. Somebody's consolation prize is going to be the Beach Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody's competition is gonna be a bowl game. Now,
Right.
should that be the runner-up, or should that be the first team that doesn't make it into the playoffs?
How about this? Tuskegee and Edward Waters are not going to the playoffs no matter what.
That's right, because they have games, don't
Tuskegee has the Turkey Day Classic.
Uh-huh.
Edward Waters is in their final year of transition. And if I'm the Beach Bowl, both of those teams make sense to
They
be
do.
my SIC
Yes.
representative.
Yes, they do.
Tuskegee
Yes,
because of how well they travel, Edward Waters because of the proximity to the bowl.
Yeah, and the story, and I think it would be I think they would perform well. I think they have shown that they can compete. Let me ask this. If Tuskegee, since they're not playing in the playoffs, is there a scenario that if that doomsday scenario happened, could Tuskegee be on the outside looking in? Could the conference sort of vote them off the island to say, we don't want you to go to the championship game because you could mess this whole thing up for everybody? Is that a likely, or am I dreaming? Is that not a likely scenario? Can you see that happening? Not see it happening?
Do you think you're going to vote a founding member of the SIAC, the winningest program in HBCU history, and not give them the opportunity to compete for a conference championship?
But you're in a tie-breaking scenario
But
with
also
schools, though, so you're not an outright second place. So I would think it's fair play.
Win it on
I
the
would say
field.
it's fair play.
Win it on the field.
But and you haven't won it on the field.
Right.
You haven't won it on the field. That's what I'm saying. Tuskegee hasn't won it on the field.
Did they vote? Did they say Edward Waters could not win the softball championship, even though they could not go to the playoffs last year?
I don't know. The answer is no. The correct answer would be no to that.
Yes. Edward Waters won the softball championship and couldn't go to the playoffs. They still competed.
Okay. So there you go. Precedent has been set, Drew. There you go. Okay. Thanks for shooting my theory down, just in case. I can't be the only one that's thought of that or asked the question. And it's not hate on Tuskegee. So don't anybody think that I'm hating on Tuskegee. I'm not. I'm just asking the question. Again, doomsday scenario. You got to start thinking about these kind of things, right? Okay, let's get to the top 5 rankings for the Division I FCS level here so we can get ready to get out of here. All right, here we go. Top 5 rankings, Division I side. In the hunt, games played through October 21st. That's Saturday. In the hunt, Alabama State, an even 3-3, 2-2 overall, playing in the Magic City Classic this upcoming weekend. And then Southern University got a win 28-18 over Bethune-Cookman on Saturday on the road. So those two teams, that would theoretically be number 6 and number 7 if this were a traditional top 10. All right, number 5. Right there. Look at that. So 5 and 6, Alabama A&M has the slight edge over Alabama State going into the Magic City Classic. 4-3 overall, 2-2. That's going to be an interesting Magic City Classic this year. But I bet they all are, really. It was funny listening to the presser, the morning coaches press conference where Alabama A&M coach Connell Maynard was somebody had asked him about the importance of winning the Magic City Classic, and they told him, Coach, just win 2 games. And one of those, of course, being the Magic City Classic. I'm trying to think what the other game was. Was it Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming. Yeah. Now that who knows that that's old school thinking there. But I think up until last year, hadn't Connell Maynard not lost a Magic City Classic?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Number 4, Jackson State. Moving in, Jackson State got a win the other day against Mississippi Valley State. sitting at 5-3 overall, 3-2, 556 points.
Number
Number 3.
Jackson State struggled against Valley at Valley also. Something about that painted grass. That painted dirt.
Yeah, something about that road trip, I guess. I don't know, but don't get me to comparing teams against opponents. I try not to do that. Number 3, Florida A&M picked up their 5th win in a row, 5-0 in conference play, 7-1 overall. Rattlers have been kind of stuck on number 3 for pretty much a lot of this season in our rankings. Number 2 is Tennessee State. Yeah, close the gap. Tennessee State got a big win over Lincoln of California. So Tennessee State 5-2, 1-1. That'll be interesting. They have another winnable game this Saturday. I think it's on the road. The excitement, Tennessee State. I saw they popped into the top 25 in one of the national FCS polls. There's a chance. There's a scenario that Tennessee State might find themselves in a situation where they could get an at-large playoff bid. That'll be interesting. That will be interesting. And of course, number 1 in the BCSN computer rankings is North Carolina Central, 6-1, 1-0, winning their first conference game. They have their second conference game. They play on Thursday night against South Carolina State. They're hosting, I believe, Coach Buddy Pugh this upcoming Saturday. Of course, that was the team who defeated them last year. So if Central is going to win the MEAC, I think it starts now. This is the game that you almost have to overcome. And they didn't look very, very good against a very stout Morgan State defense last Thursday. So we'll see if that's just a product of the defense, or is it the Thursday night curse that comes up and bites all top-ranked teams, seems like. There's your recap of the top 5. Number 1, North Carolina Central. Number 2, Tennessee State. Number 3, Florida A&M. Number 4, Jackson State. Number 5, Alabama A&M, with Alabama State and Southern in the hunt. All right, Drew, any thoughts there? Any surprises, thoughts? Pretty much a chalk day yesterday or Saturday for a lot of these schools.
Yeah, pretty much chalk. I just want to see what happens in the BI. Can anybody challenge Central in the BI? Morgan State was able to give a blueprint to some people, but I want to see if anyone else can challenge Central.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I know we don't do too many predictions, and we kind of did we want to encourage you, go back and look at yesterday's show if you want to see what our predictions were. I'll probably clip it and post it, but any quick thoughts here as we end the show on Thursday night's game between South Carolina State and North Carolina Central? Anything that you're going to be looking at in particular, or any bold predictions?
Hey, I want to see what kind of gifts that they give Buddy Pugh on his way out as he does his Dr. J. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar tour. And I want to see if Buddy Pugh kicks their ass on his way out the door.
One last parting shot.
Give you a parting gift. Thanks for your parting gift. I want to leave you with a parting gift.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I was just reminded, thanks Jeremiah Clark. Yes, there is NFL action going on, and there is an ALCS Game 7. Drew, who you got? Let me see. That's Rangers and Astros. Who you got?
Look, as long as Dusty Baker is coaching the Astros, I'm gonna ride with the Stros.
Bet on black, as a Hall of Fame journalist used to always say. Bet on black. So I guess we have to go with the Astros. Although they can't seem to win at home, though. crazy part. They can go on the road and win, but they can't. They don't seem to be able to win. And then, of course, the Monday night game. I'm just worried whether Christian McCaffrey is playing. He's on my fantasy league team, and all week they've been playing around with me, and I don't know if he's playing or not. I need to find that out.
How about Philly in Arizona?
That's going game 7 too. I'm going Philly in game 7. They lost today 5-1, but I'm going Philly. Already quick score update. Texas is up 3-1 in the second inning. I told you Houston can't win at home. I don't know, something about it, but we'll see. That's crazy. Okay, good deal. Somebody said CMC is playing. Woo! Thank goodness my fantasy team is saved. I might get that dub after all. All right, Drew. That's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for popping in with us. Make sure to check Dr. Cavill's show tomorrow. Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. And then Wednesday night, it's the homecoming edition of the O&G Strike Zone. Myself, Kelvin Rozier, Marcus Green. We might have a championship coach on. We might have the fellas from the Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. All of them have PV ties somehow. So it just kind of makes sense to bring on the Sports Lab and the O&G and just kind of do a meld there, PV versus FAMU, which will be happening in Tallahassee on Saturday. So want to encourage everybody to watch. Thanks for being a subscriber. You can also be a member of the JBN here, and you can continue to support Black media, HBCU sports media, by becoming a member of our YouTube page and supporting Jericho Broadcast Networks. Make sure you're following the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MyBCSN1. And then go look for the BCSN Pod Zone, the podcast of all of our shows, for those of you who like to still do the podcast thing. And that's real helpful. But overall, thank you for your support. Like, share, download, rate, and review. Do all of those great things that you do. And that's going to be it. Drew, final words as we get out of here for tonight. You say what?
I say travel light, everybody. Baseball, college football down the stretch. Loving it.
I'll holla.
Peace out. I'll holla.
But you stay hard.